All right, we're jumping in. This is the Rogue Company July update patch notes show. Hopefully it's good.
Hello and welcome everybody back to another installment of the Rogue Company update show for the Switchblade update. My name is Pretty here. I will be your host today. As always, I am joined by lead designer of Rogue Company, Scott Gandhi. We're ready to rock and roll. This is a long one today, guys, so we're going to waste no time in getting straight into it. First thing we're going to be talking about is game modes.
All right, so in this update, King of the Hill is going to be
moved this is Switchblade.
over to our standard 4v4 maps, but it is going to be 6v6 now, and there's going to be the new core game mode that'll be replacing Extraction. So Extraction is going to temporarily come out of the rotation. It's going to go into the
That's good.
Mode cycle.
I like this game mode's actually a lot of fun.
There, King of the Hill also has buy when dead now. So in our previous patch, you weren't able to do that in between rounds.
I see you.
You could only purchase in between rounds.
That's cool. This is going to be a super casual, fun mode for anyone that just wants to play and just keep kind of slaying out.
In addition to that, when we increased it to 6v6,
oh my god, that looks so weird. 6
we
rogues?
still have the version of 4v4 that is inside of customs for all the competitive players, so we don't disrupt anything inside of there. That game mode is a one-to-one with what you will know,
I wonder
love, and you've been playing and
if this is going to be on PTS tomorrow.
But in the 6v6,
if it is, we'll play it tomorrow morning.
We kind of leaned into a lot of the feedback that we've seen on Reddit as well as on the surveys, which a lot of, I'd say there was a decent amount of
6v6 looks nuts.
Players of, why aren't the hills random? And the main reason we didn't want the hills to be random before, well, there's a couple of reasons, but we also we didn't have strong conveyance to the player as to where
what
the next
grenade is that? Is that the bounce grenade?
And so we were like, well, we have to lean on making sure that
the grenade looks different. It might just be the new bounce grenade.
And so with 6v6, we have made an improvement.
Yo, he just knocked 3 people?
And that allows us to have a fully random hill set. So the first hill is always going to be the exact same. It's always going to be in that first spot. And
hey, thank you guys for the birthday wishes. I'm sorry. I'm recording this, so I'm trying not to talk too much.
It's all random, baby. So we
I turned 55 today
as well, and it's super exciting. 6v6 King of the Hill is probably the most fun I've had in Rogue Company.
Yeah, very, very fun. So just to summarize, folks,
give me 10v10.
King of the Hill, same maps you're used to. You can now buy when dead. The hill moves every 75 seconds. The first hill will always be the same, but after that point, it will be random. So look at your HUD. Make sure you're looking around. There'll be a little UI element indicating where the next hill is going to be. I believe it's about 10 seconds or so before that hill unlocks, so you kind of get a little bit of a head start heading over that way. Another small
10 fingers. 10 fingers.
Updates will only be pushed to Xbox, PC, and PS4. Switch still has some considerations. We're figuring out how best to implement the increased player count on that particular piece of hardware. So Switch will not be getting the 6v6 modes. That is just
Switch
PC,
players,
Xbox, and PS4.
Yikes.
A couple of little things extra.
Maybe better luck next time.
That we're doing with more players running around. Scott, we're changing the value of assists from $500 to $250.
Yeah, so one of the things inside of Rogue Company is that our economy, especially in the respawn game modes, was getting really inflated with assists, right? You get the credit on the down, and you also get elimination credit, right? And so assists were kind of inflating everything. And so a lot of our intel characters, such as Seeker and Dallas,
so now the best players are going to do even better because they can buy more stuff.
Inside of there, especially Talon. Talon, you throw the dart out there. Anyone who dies inside of that area, you didn't know, you get assist credit for. So you're just making money over money over money. And so we decided to have that, and now we're starting to get a much more realistic, I would say, flow for what the economy should be like inside of our respawn game mode.
Gotcha. And a couple more little notes here for Strikeout. We've added the ability to spawn flip. And this is basically, so you don't kind of get stuck in the same little corner.
Wasn't that already in?
Match, and if somebody pushes too far into
Team
your spawn,
Deathmatch,
you will spawn elsewhere on the map, giving you kind of a more freed feeling and more options when you come back.
They already had that.
Yeah, so this all can be summarized into one thing. Since Rogue Company has released Strikeout, one of the number one complaint has been spawn camping. How do you fix spawn camping? And we have gone through a couple of different iterations. And at the time,
spawn flipping works fine. You just got to get used to it.
And that's what we call the idea, the design principle behind why one team spawns on one side versus the other. We believe very highly in that. And then as we continue to test more and more respawn game modes, our spawn system got better and better and better. And our logic and our philosophy as to how we treat spawns improved. And so as soon as we did TDM as well as King of the Hill, we go, well, now is the perfect time for us to go ahead and change Strikeout and alleviate this pain point, because there's very few things that can frustrate a player. And coming off the respawn and having someone crouched behind a cover with an objection, that's probably the one that I'm
it's right up there.
Right.
We got to fix that.
So,
all right.
I hope that this patch notes show doesn't take like an hour again. I feel like they could condense the patch notes down by like
for team deathmatch, and buy when dead will be
this thing could be
so basically
done in
respawn
20
game
minutes.
modes. We really like the buy when dead functionality. It seems you guys at home.
I guess we'll see how long the video ends up being.
So we are going to add that in. And I like it. It kind of smooths out my power curve. It's not just these massive spikes at the round ends when I go back to the dropship. It's been a really nice, I think, addition to those respawn modes.
Yeah, I think there's also, we have those, there's not a lot of times where it happens, but there are those times where you're having a good round and your team is down and you have just enough money to get life drain all of a sudden, or to get a second gadget, and that changes that flow forever throughout that match, and then you're able to get a nice comeback story inside of there. So we're super optimistic about it. We can't wait for you guys to give us your feedback on it.
Gotcha. And
Splashy McNasty, thank you for the tips. I'm sorry I'm recording right now. Thank you so much. I appreciate you both. Thank you very much.
Get into this, I want to talk about zip lines, Scott. We can now use abilities and gadgets while riding zip lines.
Abilities and gadgets?
The animation and tech art team. Company. Also, I think gameplay was included in that, but our gameplay programmers are just
I don't have alerts on.
They're wizards. They're amazing all together, and so they're always just incorporating.
I mean, this
now, this is another one of those community asks, which is like, hey.
So like Sigurd can have her shield.
Hey, Gandhi, why can't I use gadgets on ziplines? And before it was like, well, that's a really good question. And there was a decision I made way back early on in development, and so we knew we could deliver it inside of here.
I mean, you can throw melees, right?
Win if we can do this, and the team rallied
Which I guess
behind
isn't the gadget.
and we brought it to life. And it feels just as good as you would expect.
Yeah,
right? It just feels right.
I mean, you're already taking a big risks, usually getting on zip lines.
Big risks.
Being able to use
I like it.
Gadgets, throw flashes, do whatever you got to do. Get
hey, thanks,
angle.
Fly.
It feels like it helps negate some of that or hedge some of that risk that you're taking by taking the zip line. Small note is that things like trip mines, APSs, anvils, barricade, anything that's like a built object that you place in the world. Obviously, you don't have a valid placement, so those you still can't use on the zipline, but they're wholly not designed to be used on the zipline. So I think that makes a lot of sense. Anyway,
of course.
Yeah, there's no such thing as planning a zip mine.
A barricade?
Or a trip mine on a zipline. You know
oh my God. Zip mine, new gadget revealed here. Leaked. You heard it here first, folks. That's what
you know what you're designing next, Nick.
The zip mine, dude. There it is.
Give me the most specific character in the history of Rogue Company. This character only makes zip lines more dangerous.
The anti-zip line character. That's funny. All right, guys, let's go ahead and let's get into that weapon balance that I was mentioning. So these first two changes I'm actually going to bundle together because they are kind of under the
weapon balancing,
dealing with armored players. The Harm 30K will be seeing an increase in headshot damage from 40 to 42. And the Nightshade will be seeing a body shot damage increase from 17 to 18.
Yeah, and so some of you are like,
does that do anything?
It seems very small. Why would you do that?
Yeah, explain.
And it really comes down to the optimal time to kill. So for the Harm 30K, right? The Harm 30K is our slowest.
I know the Nightshade felt weak.
That's supposed to pack a punch.
In my opinion.
Unfortunately, the Harm 30K is really kind of almost worst in class when it comes to time to kill versus armor, especially in headshots. And so by moving it from 40 to 42, now you're able to kill people who have armor in 3 shots specifically. Same exact principle is applied to the Nightshade as well. Nightshade's supposed to be the best, like have the highest, the fastest time to kill of all the assault rifles because it's a SMG AR hybrid, right? Like that's the identity of that weapon. And so before, we didn't have this issue, but as we introduced more and more characters with armor and things along those lines, the Nightshade kind of fell out of favor. And so by giving that 1 damage, it seems silly, but that 1 damage makes a world of difference.
Does it though? If I did the math, if I have to break out my calculator and do the math real quick, does it?
Range reduction.
Another one?
The DMR category, the Mamba, kind of that niche, that bursty sort of DM.
Oh my God!
Headshot damage increase from 24 to 25, and a body shot.
Oh, that's huge.
From 15 to 16. The MXR.
Mamba OP.
Yeah, that's a weapon that's been kind of all over the place. We'll be seeing a fire
they increase the speed a bit.
And this is something, it's a really popular DMR. When the
all right, they buffed it up a little bit more.
It was a whole
that's good.
Beast.
That's good.
But since the reversion of those time to kill changes, the big global ones, this weapon has kind of been a little bit out of favor. So we're gonna give it just a little bit of a fire.
Dude, the Mamba's gonna be really good.
It's the fast firing DMR as it stands right now.
Yeah, the MXR, you know, this is one of the ones, and so like the dev team, like the design team specifically knows that, you know, like one of my first DMRs that I made, I like have like a very
Mine was already good.
heart for it. And so I always want to make it as overpowered as possible.
And you've done a great job of that.
And throughout the year, or throughout the months, you know, it's gone from like, hey, it's really good, to then we hit it. And then I think this was just an oversight as we went back to the other TTK of just, okay, let's make sure that it has the fire rate that it needs to have in order
Yeah, it felt a little weak before.
Yeah. Okay, so that does it for
Hopefully that
DMRs.
helps a
Moving on
little
to
bit.
Pistols, the A3 Salvo. A bit of a pain point. It's
Ooh,
never been
wow, that
regarded
shoots
as a
quick
super,
now.
super strong pistol. So we're going to be
Fire
doing a
rate
number
increase,
of things
headshot,
to try
and
bring
body
this
damage
weapon,
all
up to
increased.
speed and get it to its spot where it can feel
1, 2,
really
3.
viable. It is a bit of a
Okay,
niche
so it's not a
gun.
full-
Those burst weapons can be kind of tough to use just holistically, but we think these changes will help.
1,
Fire
2,
rate is
3.
going to be
Okay, so why
increased.
does it matter if you
Increase
shoot him in the body or the
headshot
head?
damage from 23 to 24, and the body shot damage from 19 to 20. So you will be shooting faster and hitting harder.
So the time to
across
kill
the
just
board.
got
Great stuff there
increased.
for the salvo.
Sorry,
the LW6
decreased.
revolver will be seeing a fire rate increase as well.
Yeah, and so very soon.
So they're just buffing everything across the board?
Also hit.
So it's like they took away time to kill, and now they're kind of bringing it back.
Burst weapons
Okay.
create a little bit of the inconsistent experience for the players. Right? And so both of these changes, both on the Mamba as well as the A3 Salvo, really aim to make it a more consistent
They're
experience. for the
basically
player
doing what
overall. Now,
what they already did with time to kill.
To
They're
be honest with ourselves, right?
Whatever.
It's been an underperforming weapon since pretty much the inception of the gun. And
Yeah.
so this is our next step of like, okay, let's really try to make sure that this thing feels well and that the players are satisfied with that weapon overall. So we
Salvo suck nuts, so it's good that they're the undo button. It's the
Alrighty,
redo
folks,
button.
that does it for the pistol
Last time it was the
section.
undo,
We're gonna
now
move
it's the
over to
redo.
Shotguns. Every shotgun is being adjusted in some way.
Are they getting buffed?
Shotguns as a whole are
Jotty City,
underperforming.
baby.
You got to be careful with shotguns.
So we've
though.
buffed
We
ARs,
try to
we've
make
buffed
small,
pistols,
incremental
and now we're gonna go
changes.
buff shotguns.
We wouldn't be the biggest fans, I don't think, of creating a shotgun meta that we can help. They are
What's
viable,
next?
I think, in
We haven't
their
even talked about
ranges, but we're
SMGs yet,
trying
have
to
we?
Slowly and carefully increase the situations in which shotguns are viable or very, very strong. The first one up is the Arbitrator, seeing a range increase from 6.5 to 8. The SKL6 will see a range increase from 7.5 to
Oh my
9.
god!
And slightly increasing
Wait.
the damage that it does at its fall off.
Oh my-
ranges.
okay.
The S12 Tactical.
The SKL6 is already pretty dang good.
Increase, as
I don't even
well
use this
as
gun,
the
so I have no
damage
idea.
Fall off range where it begins to start to fall off.
It's such a
15,
weird bullet
to
spread.
17 meters. And in the Striker, we have a fix. While it is a very heavily hip-fired use, that's kind of the primary use case for the Striker. There was a small issue where the weapon was a little bit less accurate than we wanted it to be when aiming, so we have kind of cleaned up that bug.
The note just said
Yeah, so,
accurate
like,
when
each
aiming.
of these shotguns we can, like the Arbitrator
Hey,
is
thank you.
probably the most, polarizing shotgun experience in Rogue Company. And
Yeah.
so before, when it had that one-shot body shot, eventually people started getting around to like, oh my god, this thing is very strong, especially for controller users, right? You're just right on them, blast them right in the chest. And so when we
He knows
pulled that
controller's
away,
strong.
when we started
Controller's
to look at
strong
this
in Rogue
weapon, it was,
Company.
well, look, this thing's got 2 shots in the cannon, right? It's got 2 shots in the chamber, and it only one-shots if you hit headshots. And so we didn't want to really have that limited of a range. 6.5 meters in Rogue Company. I mean, you're basically talking about the lunge distance on max sword when it's fully upgraded almost, right? Like that's how it kind of feels perceptionally, right? It's not 1-to-1 with the numbers, but it's how it feels. It's very close. So by just extending that out a little bit, it's going to make people who use the Arbitrator have a much better experience overall. And then, as you remember from our last patch notes, the majority of gunfights that we get into in Rogue Company are between 15 and 25 meters. Shotguns have a very hard time right now.
Yeah, definitely. Got to be careful with the shotguns. It's something we're always keeping an eye on. We want it to be a viable play style for you guys.
Terrifying.
We don't want it to take over and have a bunch of especially it's a third-person game. Too,
Yeah.
So,
Shotguns could be super oppressive in this game if they're too strong.
Unless you're hitting the headshots, it's going to be
As they already have been.
Try to stay away from when we can.
Oh, thank you, Jolly.
It's a polarizing experience. Getting peekabooed and just removed from the video game is not.
What are
fun.
my thoughts so far? I feel like
So, that does it for shotguns. We'll move over to
they took
SMGs.
now these are all going to get
or S.
increased. Yeah, damage
receiving,
increase from
big
15 to
buff its
16.
Level 3 upgrade, as well as a small body shot damage.
They had the
boost.
game.
So
They did the
body shot
TTK.
damage
They
will
undid the
pump 15
TTK, and now they're
16
redoing the
per shot,
TTK. They're just
level
not calling
3
it the
upgrade.
TTK
Now
update, but
also
they're
provide a
they're pretty much
crit
buffing
reduction.
everything. Is
LMPX will be seeing a range increase in between its fall off range, so it will fall off at the same place.
But it'll deal more
but
damage a little
where
closer.
It begins to fall off again, aka its second fall
So it's
off
gonna go like
range,
this.
or where it levels off will be another 2 meters out. So you're basically mid-range fighting with your LMPX. will
So
be
far, it's
another
just they're
2
buffing
meters
everything.
out,
Nothing's
where
been
you're
nerfed that I've
And to
seen
put that
or
one
I can
very
remember.
simply, right,
I also
very
have the
similar
memory
to
of a guppy.
the Nightshade having the fastest body shot time to kill inside of assault rifles. We want to make sure that the LMPX is achieving is really striving to be the best SMG AR hybrid, basically the inverse of that. And so it was just kind of losing a lot of those battles, right? And so we said, hey, let's increase
Thanks,
the
Joe
range a little
Mama.
bit, and then it'll help it out a little bit more.
There you go. And moving right along to our last class of weapon that we will be changing here is the snipers.
Yeah, I like the fast
Snipers are getting
TTK.
a tier 3 headshot damage increase to help counter rogues such as Chalk, who has his ability to pump him up with a bunch of bonus health. So that's both the LR-15 now at level 3,
175. Okay, RIP Shock. Shock just got nerfed.
And the tier at level 3
200
headshot for 200 damage.
Bang! Called it.
That's what it's all about. Look,
Yes.
sniping.
Oop, you
sniping,
missed.
when you get a headshot, needs to always feel rewarding. Bigger numbers and Chalk popping his ability and being in your face. Chances that you're going to
What's
hit
the
that
point of
headshot
200
pretty
though?
small.
Unless it's
Yep.
So when
Fallout.
you do hit it, instead of seeing like 5 health, you're just going to see
Like
it.
what? Why
That's
does
the
it
way.
matter if it's 200 versus
So no matter what, level
175?
3 snipers hit him in the head.
Whatever.
They will go down. Also, small bug fix for the tier. An issue where it wouldn't reload automatically, I assume, after shooting. It's only
Nobody
one of
has
the
more than
chambers, so we
170
wanna
health
make sure
anyway.
That is always happening immediately after firing that shot. But maybe some more on that later. Let's move on to the rogue changes now. That does it for weapon balance. First up for rogues,
The
it's
long
gonna
one.
be Chalk. This is a good one, though. I think you guys are
Yeah.
gonna
Berserker?
like this one.
That's good.
It will be a perk swap happening with
That's
Chalk.
great.
So in his tier 1 section, he had cloaked. We will be subbing
Shock is
that
a
out for
duelist, runs at
Berserker,
you,
which is the
screams.
reload while sprinting.
I like it.
This is the one.
That's a good one.
It's a good
you
one.
You all asked for this,
Makes sense.
and it took us some time. And that might be a theme of this. Maybe the patch should have been, you all have asked for this. We finally did it.
The about time update.
So they're
The
they're
about
listening to
time
the community.
update. Berserker. Berserker and Chalk
Finally.
makes total sense, right?
It's only been
this is a
literally
slam
10
dunk
months.
for us, and it fits his playstyle, it fits his personality, and it fits exactly what you all want, and we're happy to deliver it.
All right, moving along to Dima. We'll be seeing
Oh.
a perk swap as well, but that's not all. So Dima will be gaining Stalker
Okay.
in place of Nimble Hands. So increased ADS movement speed in place of increased reload speed. He's a guy that has replenished.
I
too,
never used
so
Nimble Hands,
I think
so
this is a great
Stalker's
change for
better.
him.
in
He's
my
also
eyes.
underperforming, so he wanted to decrease the fuse time on his grenade Merv launcher. So
Merv
he'll have
launcher's
less
even
time to
better.
react
That's
to
good.
that, down from 1.8 second.
That helps
fuse to a
Dima out.
1.5 second fuse. So Dima getting some love.
So here was like
I think it was too easy to dodge. It's just way too easy to dodge. Unless you're like right on center mass.
Like, month and a half, right? So as we spun up all these community tournaments on the weekend, almost every single rogue was played, right?
Except
Every single
Dima.
rogue was played, minus Dima. I was like, man, Big Dima's still not being played. And then, now as we always look through the data, and we're always, making sure that our rogues are, balanced. And so when I went in there, I looked at every single game mode, and just per usual, and it was like it's just the same realization happened. Like he wasn't being played competitively, and I looked at the win rates, and he was just doing terrible. And I was like, man, it's time, Dima. Your time to shine is now. Stalker on the Mamba as well as the KA-30 is probably like
Yeah.
best
That'll be good on the
feeling
Mamba,
combination you can get
100%.
outside of a sniper. But really, when it comes down to his
Plus, the
ability,
Mamba just got
right, that you have
buffed.
so much time to
I'd be
dodge
running
away
that
from
Dima
it,
with the
and obviously
Mamba.
we
Try it
want
out
to just
whenever
die
this update
immediately to
goes live,
abilities.
which will probably be
But
on
this one was
PTS
almost too
tomorrow.
long. So this is a quality of life, and hopefully Dima's
Yeah.
best days are ahead of him.
Alrighty, moving along to Fixer, we kind of, alluded to this a little bit earlier. It's that single shot sniper. That's the tier. That's the primary play style for Fixer. So we wanted to give him something that would help him with that playmaking ability. So
Yeah,
we
I
added
noticed this.
Replenish in
Okay.
place of Headstrong. So now when you do hit those
Dude, it's gonna be
200
nuts.
damage headshots, you will be instantly refunded that single bullet, and you can continue to go
Ah.
on as long as you're continuing.
Look
to
at
hit
Pretty
those
here hitting all
headshots.
these hit. Oh,
Yeah, so this is another one of those great
Okay.
community suggestions. And what we love about this one
that's
is
solid.
that, you know, when you got a one-shot sniper, it's really about making sure that you're the playmaker, and we lean into those high
That's a big one. That's a big one. That's
dopamine
that's gonna make Fixer a
and
lot of fun to
nothing
play
is
as.
a better highlight reel than watching a Fixer just go
Yeah.
to town.
That's a
for
fun
footage.
one.
Headshot after headshot after.
Does it
headshot.
make
I
him
mean,
stronger
we got
and
dreams
all the
of hitting
competitive
that.
scene is gonna complain? Yes,
it's good for his
but
identity too. He's the
it's
guy.
more
He's
fun to
the
play as
single
Fixer.
shot. He's the precision sniper. He doesn't need any more than that one shot. So very well aligned there. Moving on to Kestrel. I actually like the way you worded this. There's not a major difference between an okay game with a Kestrel and a great game with Kestrel. You're just getting
Thank you.
so much money. It just, no matter really how you're performing, you always had enough. And this is almost in line with the assist money reduction from 500 to 250.
Nerf on
The
Kestrel.
bonus cash from getting downs with Kestrel will be reduced from
Yeah, that's fine.
1,000 to 500.
Thank you for your
Totally
stamp of
fine.
approval on my comment.
I think that's a good nerf.
Really appreciate that. Yeah, so
Not huge.
Kestrel is one of those rogues who.
Kestrel's
when we
still.
look at this, you know, obviously
She's got an amazing assault
with
rifle.
the- with
Slight
the
nerf.
Riptide as
Slight
well, which
nerf.
is her primary weapon.
Yeah.
And when I looked at this,
Her ability is
look at the
amazing.
damage, the average damage of the ability.
Any
you don't
passive she has
see
is just the cherry
her
on top.
ability
So
be
if she still is getting extra
overperforming.
money,
You know, it ends up
she's
being
still
the
gonna be really
sword.
good.
She's able to just kind of effortlessly go through it, regardless of her performance.
perks
And
are also
this
super
just kinda
good.
helps bring her in line with all the other rogues.
Yeah, and it would put you in, especially with these 6v6 modes now, folks. I mean,
Yeah,
Kestrel,
yeah.
her ability. I mean, I was having tests where I would be done buying my stuff, and I would have tens of thousands of dollars unable to spend.
Yeah.
Because I was already done with my store. So it's about balance. It goes
No,
in
I
line
think-
with the rebalance.
No, they didn't buff Riptide. I think they nerfed it.
Modes and buying when dead, all that good stuff. That does it for Kestrel. Moving on to Lancer.
Damage range.
Lancer will be seeing a duration increase of quick and quiet from 10 seconds to 14 seconds.
Yep, just a little bit of a buff to allow her to break the timers on the map a little bit better. Specifically in like demolition and our round-based one life game modes, it's very difficult for her to sneak around.
So this
and flank,
recharges
right?
now? I missed it.
You only got 10 seconds, and you kind of keep that inside
I
of there.
think
So we
the flank that I always
People
think
asked for this
about
for a
is
long
like the one
time.
on Icarus when everybody's fighting on the alley. Like this 14 seconds
yeah.
is going to be great for you just need that little bit.
Oh,
more
they increased the
juice to get around
time.
the corner there and really.
They went from
sneak
10 to
up
14 on
you. That's
Lancer?
crap happen.
and you're 100% right, because
Okay.
if you activate
They
push
actually
Y
buffed
right at that
Lancer.
down, right around as you get that bend, you know, it's still really going under
Okay.
that buff. So
It'll be a good one here. Big win here for Ronin.
Oh
as
my
well.
god, they
Her
actually
passive
buffed
will now be
Lancer.
buffed to make her immune to
Most
enemy
face roll character
reveals
in the
as
game, and
well
they decided
as
to buff her.
radar
Okay.
detection. So radar detection, aka things like shooting, or Talon's radar dart. That's what she had. What she's gaining now, Scott, if I'm reading this right, is the immunity completely to things like
Reveals?
Seeker Arrow and Down
Okay.
that's right.
Snap.
That's better.
That is 100% correct. This is another one of those ones where it's about time that we did the thing. So Ronin internally.
So immune to
knows
reveals
that
now
Ronin
instead of
is
immune to
just
minimap.
Such a strong duelist who
Fine.
cover and play
Better, definitely
any
better.
way, right? She can be a great offense character. She can be a great defender. She can be a great anything, right? And
Ronin's already
when we
played a
look at
lot,
that,
though,
we're
so
not too
you've
worried
buffed
about,
Lancer, now
you know,
you've buffed
just
Ronin.
having
Two
more
really good
niche
rogues.
passes. But as
Yeah.
we get more and more reveals, it became apparent to us that, well, it's time. Let's go ahead and increase this. Let's make her immune to reveals as well as enemy radar
Yeah.
detection. And if it's
Oh, she's immune to both?
as well. So
Sure, yeah.
we're super happy
Underground,
about
baby.
that. Minus the fact
Okay.
that she got caught and thrown in jail by Mac, but we don't have to worry about that. If she would have had this passive, it wouldn't have happened. You know what I mean?
That's great, and especially cloaked and not providing reveal immunity anymore. There was
Yeah.
space. There was space in the
There's
ecosystem
space.
for something to do that. Moving along to Seeker, one of the more high skill, high precision characters in the game. Will be seeing
Misses the arrow shot.
increase in the rate that his arrow
There you go.
recharges. So it's 45-second cooldown. Now it is a 40.
Why are you buffing Seeker, too?
Radius is slightly larger.
Why are you
from
buffing the
7.5 to
strongest
8
rogues in the
meters,
game?
as well as the amount of damage that his bounce
Oh
passive
my
provides
God.
him increased from 60%.
His grenade's
extra
gonna do
damage to
70% more damage now?
Yup.
And the reveal's bigger? Why are you buffing Seeker?
When we look at the damage and just his performance in general, Seeker has a lot of high skill. And so at the highest levels of demolition ranked play, you see him be used pretty effectively.
Yeah.
Everywhere else, very poorly performing, right? And so that's something where we wanted to make sure that we gave him a little bit of bump. And I think this
They buffed all the strongest characters.
Part of this, ultimately,
except Dima. Dima needed it.
Made when he first released, when Seeker first released.
And I guess they nerfed Kestrel a little bit, but that doesn't matter.
30-second cooldown and his ability. And so then we just
where's the buff? Now we just need to buff Dahlia.
There's too many
you already buffed Fixer. You've buffed Seeker. You've buffed Lancer.
And we felt pretty confident in that, but
oh my god,
we overhit him. And so this is kind of bringing him back in line to where hopefully he's in a much better spot.
Yep. So cooldown's faster, radius is bigger, and if you manage to hit the bounce shots, those will be hitting harder as well. Moving on to Talon, the radar dart will be seeing an increase in size of reveal. So that Talon dart range will, instead of now revealing,
I guess they'll explain this one too. I guess we're just buffing everybody.
Covering just a couple more key choke points, all that good stuff. The big one, though, is Trench, Scott. And I know you're excited to talk about this one.
My thumbs don't fit in the frame. I've been trying to do
Trench needs a little bit, so Trench is good. The other one's I don't know about that.
And then I'll let you take it away. Barbed Wire now deals 5 damage every 0.25 seconds when an enemy is standing in it. So a total of 20 DPS to targets that are moving.
20 damage per second?
Done it.
So what's Vi?
Did it.
Yeah.
So we done did it.
That's way faster than Vi's.
We finally did
the problem is you can still jump over it.
Trench barbed wire. This is something that we have debated internally so many times amongst the design team as well as
like you're gonna take 10 damage from that, and then you're just gonna heal up.
Realistic game, you go. You would
helps a little bit,
that, right? We're like, nah, it needs to slow. And so Trench outside of his passive has had a pretty difficult time in respawn game modes. He is at the very bottom of the list. Beneath Dima, he's just has he has a very difficult time performing against literally everybody else. And so it's we've tried this in the past.
Trench used to be one of the best rogues in the game. When the MXR was super strong.
And so this next time when we
he had tenacity
and we started talking about it, goes okay.
He was good.
How do we make
and
this
he had
work?
the one charge of the barbed wire that was massive. He was good.
There was that when we divided up the barbed wire into having two
smaller charges.
Two smaller charges inside of there. It made it a lot more forgiving. So if you just walk through this barbed wire, you're going to lose about half your health, right? But obviously, if you jump and you catch the tail end, you're only going to lose about 10, 15.
Yeah, see, 10. That's what I was thinking. 10, 15.
It makes Trench feel amazing. The craziest thing is, like, we were playing today, and in PTS, people were like, "Oh my god, I have to worry about barbed wire all of a sudden."
Yeah, you do.
And I heard that, and I go, "Man, we probably should have done this earlier."
Yeah, I think the key there is what you said about the. I usually take about 15 when I run.
I'm surprised they did that much.
I just can't
15?
ever stomach like blowing my lethal gadget to blow it up. So I always do, and I just take the damage and I try.
So it's
and
still
you take those fights down.
Not enough.
Trench is a guy who could have headstrong and be at
if people are still running at it and jumping over it, I feel like then it's still probably not enough.
It gives Trench a significant advantage.
I feel like it should deal 20.
Properly counterplaying and destroying the barbed wire. It's going to start to make an impact on your fights as a Trench player. So big stuff for Trench. Lots of big changes for the rogues, for the weapons. It's going to feel like a little bit of a new game when you guys get in there. Yeah, you guys got a lot to learn and a lot to experiment with. We're super excited about it. Just as we are about this next event. It's time to get into
they're going to save the new rogue for last. Switchblade.
While you get paid.
Of course.
The Arms Dealer event. This is an event that is going to be completely free to absolutely everybody.
I looked through the rewards for this, and maybe you guys like the rewards for this new Arms Dealer event.
And so everybody can rock and roll on this. You're not going to be excluded if you don't have any rogue bucks to spend on it.
Ooh, so it's free.
Yeah. So again, you know, when we did our first Arms Dealer event, we listened to the community, and this is our next evolution of the Arms Dealer event. And so, like you said,
so it's actually free.
This event is entirely free. The exclusive shipments,
wow,
they're going to boost your performance and allow you to complete a little bit faster, but they're not mandatory. All of the standard challenges inside of there are repeatable, so you're able to just constantly sit there and make progression on side of there if you can. And then this oil slick, the oil slick weapon wrap, if you could go back for me real quick, Brad. Love it.
I love that.
Super great. There's also that on the weapon wraps, but we'll get into that. So I think
looks fine.
This is great. Virtual Vector is great, but look at this oil slick on the secondary, man. This just looks fantastic. The weapon art team just constantly keeps raising the bar. Matt Demaray, who's in charge of all of that. Salute, my brother.
Okay.
He's absolutely killing it there. So everyone has access to this. You will complete missions. The free missions are repeatable. Everyone has access to them. You spend.
I guess at least it's all free, right?
From completing missions.
I don't think that the reward unlocks are super great, but at least they're free.
Missions.
So for the people that don't spend money in the game, you've got something.
Acquire these tokens to unlock the shipments. You
which
can
is
see
good.
them over there. The exclusive missions. The left-hand side is your standard missions that everybody can rock and roll with. We've got some great stuff available in these later shipments as well. You can see down at the bottom, we've got a Scorch skin, the Thrasher Scorch.
I love it.
Got the nice eyeshadow there.
It's like a big baby doll.
Vibe, very good stuff. Very, very kind of
see, but I would
than her 4th of July.
I would never run.
We showed during the summer update. So Scorch really getting a nice kind of round out.
I would never run Scorch that skin over the other one.
Wingsuit as well.
The one that reacts to your
you guys can see at the bottom
abilities.
The special reserve.
Her Iron Man suit.
This is free. If you get through all 8 shipments, congratulations. You've reached the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. You will get all of this for free.
You get 500 rogue bucks. That's probably the best thing.
Of course. It looks like 500 rogue bucks as well. And nothing wrong with a little bit of cash. The oil slick for your primaries. That's the big one that you want. I love the black accenting alongside.
So
you'll need, what is it,
like
40, 80, 110, plus 50, 160, nice. Plus another 30, 190.
I think if there's one thing we're the best at,
you will need 190.
I'm
reading that right.
Toxic emotes for players.
That's what the emote.
Yeah, 190 to unlock the final special reserve.
That's what you're using.
It's a lot.
We understand that, and we want to.
But I'm sure some people will get it done within 24 hours.
You need to be successful and make your opponents feel some type of way after you've dusted them. And of course,
it's a good thing to grind for. It's free.
Legendary title there is the final piece.
Can't complain about free stuff. Free cosmetics in the game. That's good. They're giving you rogue bucks. Can't complain.
Plenty more of the a la carte outfits and skins, if you will, and we are looking at one here. It is Night Sky Dahlia. You guys got a little bit of a sneak preview of this when we were rolling through the arms dealer event.
A little bit of animation on it.
Cool. If you
it's kind of cool.
Materials on her clothes kind of moving around subtly. Very, very cool. I'm a big fan of the galaxy print type of stuff. It's awesome. Dahlia is one of my favorite characters to play, and especially with more trenches running around, I think she's
what in the world?
Very, very
what am I looking at?
Dallas. God, yeah. Straight out of the 80s here. Loving this
what in the world?
This pink and this blue. Very great stuff there for Mr. Dallas. I'm loving the posing on this one. It's all good stuff here.
What in the world was that?
Emotes to rock with from that arm.
I did see this one, Datamine. This one looks pretty sick.
Anvil?
Yeah, baby.
It is.
This is cool.
Clean there. The big old white trench coat. My man is, glitz and glam and gilded trimmed coats doesn't really
I think this is
like
the best. I think Sigrid's is the worst and Anvil's is the best.
He got a little bit of money.
Skaducci yet.
Say money don't change you, but it clearly does for Anvil, right? He instantly became bougie.
Oh man, that's great stuff there. We got a bunch of new sprays in this one as well. The Happy Pug, there's the Love Ya spray. That's the Happy Pug. We've got the Los Bandidos. That's a hefty price.
Does anybody use sprays?
Head. But hey, you've got the tier 3 sniper upgrades to take that head for yourself, and of course, the Ronin guidance as well. A couple of sweet banners here as well. I gotta commend Brad. That's the Stalking Tiger banner right there.
They need animated banners. I know they mentioned like literally 2 months ago, but they were coming with animated banners. When are those coming? They said fall, which I guess that's still three months away.
Kind of conjecture amongst yourselves
at the very least.
Might look like. We got a bunch of emotes, of course. Saw a couple of them up there in the arms dealer event. The Hurricane Hustle, and of course, thank you to Night Sky Dahlia. For sporting these ones for us. This is just a happy dance, not really necessarily in that toxic flavor. Here's the Teenage Wedding.
I feel like every time I watch these, like the emote itself, like the motions with the body are cool, but the music is always like off to me.
That kind of reminds me of that My Chemical Romance dance from like that Helena music video, way back. That might be where that's from.
Yeah.
Who's the new rogue? A Switchblade. They haven't showed her yet.
Out emote. Very good stuff here. Clean moves from Dahlia. Love the work on her hair. Just kind of noticing down on that Night Sky skin as well. And of course, the love.
That's a cool one.
Courtesy of those two smoke canisters. Blow the kiss.
All right, roll us into Switchblade.
On the emote. Have a couple
Come on.
of weapon wraps to show off.
Dude, this show is already 35 minutes long.
This is the most
he's
efficient
got it all.
cameraman work, moving through weapon wraps.
We like all
emotes.
of a sudden got really good at this.
He knows what he's doing. Cherry Blossom secondary.
I'm sure they'll announce when the update's coming at the end of the show.
This is kind of what that Cherry Blossom.
We'll learn
like.
soon
You guys
enough.
can use your imaginations and apply that to your favorite secondary. Very animated, as the blossoms kind of wisp along.
I don't know.
The sides of your
Weapon wraps and stuff are cool. I don't really notice them once I start playing, honestly.
Frostbite. That is one of
I
the
wish they
new
did more
rare
with like
melee wraps
instead
here
of just like a
in
wrap,
this patch.
it was a cosmetic
on the
change
katana.
with like the mesh. Like the katana all of a sudden became a big fat long railroad spike or something different, like a different item, but the same stats. Like that would be way cooler.
You've got the tears, the salty tears of your enemies to rock with. On your primaries, the Neon Synapse primary wrap here. Very
that thing looks great.
That one does
nice
look
work
cool.
on the
I like
animated
that
stuff.
one. And it's probably just because the background is black, but it looks
for you
see-through.
guys, and that's really what starts to grab your attention, I think, in this patch. Is just how many options you have in that category. The Scaducci rocket wingsuit here to pair up with the now joining the club is Scaducci Anvil here. So you got plenty of options if you love that classic black and gold gilded look. The redacted wingsuit.
Redacted.
Very, very clean, very subtle for your more
The Dr.
minimalist
Disrespect.
style. We've got something for everyone. At this
Without
point.
the
Really
Dr.
good, kind of
Disrespect
a
branding on it.
Rounded collection.
Nice.
Yeah, you know, I think at this point, I'm just ready for animated banners and avatars too.
About time.
Let's get on with it.
Yeah.
Get some weapon-specific skins. Let's get some animated banners and wraps. You know, let's get a little crazy.
I'm loving Brad hovering over and tempting us with that. A couple small little notes here. I'm being told that we do have like an email pop-up type of thing that can get you a free weapon wrap, I believe. I actually saw this when I logged in to Dev PTS. I logged in the other day and I saw this pop up just to kind of, I think, go to another window, fill out some information, maybe an email or something like that, and you get a free weapon wrap from that. The daily store.
Give us your data, we'll give you a weapon wrap.
Miss something just by if you didn't have a chance to log in or whatever, and you missed something that you really wanted. We're going to be rotating the store on a daily basis now instead of on a weekly basis.
Yeah, so that's that. So there's two things right there. So
Okay.
I'll touch on the email real quick. So if you give us your email, you will get a free primary wrap, right? Done. That's it. Guaranteed. You got it. It's free. All we need is your email. The next piece is that, at this point,
What if you give them a fake email? I bet you have to confirm it.
Add more and more skins.
The patch is going to be on all
weapon
platforms.
wraps and avatars and banners into the game.
Yeah.
We've gotten to the point where
You'll have early access if you're on PC to the PTS server, which is usually a Saturday, Sunday,
So every single day you'll be able to log in,
which is
and see
probably
something new and
tomorrow
fresh inside of there.
and
There
Sunday.
you go. Perfect. And now for the moment you are all waiting for. You've
Is it
been
my
very
time?
patient. It is time. We've gone through all the weapons, all the skins, all the rogues, all the mode changes. It's time to take a look at the newest
it.
member of Rogue Company, introducing Switchblade. Very excited to talk about this one, Scott. And this
So
one's
she's got
very near
her
and
Chaos
dear.
Rocket Launcher, and then I think her
She
passive
looks
is...
great. I mean,
Yeah, she
looks
moves
edgy.
faster
She's got
after
the
using an
ripped
ability or
fishnets. She's
gadget,
got a very
which is kinda cool.
posing to her. She is a breacher.
A lot of people
Prescott,
don't like the look of her, but she's very unique.
Oh, where to begin? Where to
Where to
begin?
begin?
Okay, so let's kick off at the highest level from a narrative perspective. And just real quick, I know we've talked about narratives in the
So
past.
equip a
and
launcher that
rogue
fires a
bios and
napalm
things along
warhead.
those lines, and for those of you who don't follow me on social media, those
So,
are coming right around the
Dima
corner.
has his
You guys are
Merv
gonna
launcher,
have
which does
full rogue
explosive
bios, so you
damage.
can do that. So,
Switchblade has
now, let's
the same
jump into
thing
it.
with fire damage,
So
basically.
season 2 kicked off with Jackal attacking Rogue Company, and Ronan getting thrown in jail by Mac, who works for Justicar, right? So Rogue Company is in a weakened state. They've been attacked by Jackal. They just lost Ronan, and so now they're like, well, we need someone to be able to break Ronan out of jail, but they need someone who's not known. Because as
She's a little
Ronan was taken
insane.
Away, Justicar and Mac said, "Well, we're going to monitor all the well-known rogues inside of Rogue Company to make sure if anyone's doing anything illegal, they're going to jail too."
Yeah.
They needed someone who was a little bit unknown, and so in comes Switchblade. Switchblade has essentially been on the run her entire life, and she doesn't know why. Now, she's always managed to survive, but she doesn't know why she's always been on the run. And so the director of Rogue Company reached out to her and said, look, I promise you, I'm going to find out, and I will help you find out why you've been chased your entire life, and there will be more of that to come in a future narrative bio release. In exchange for
When's
us,
the bio release? We're talking this thing right here. When is that coming out?
Signed the deal, and now here she is.
It's only been in the game since last August.
That is the narrative piece. Now, what you guys really want.
I don't know why they can't just add that.
Because it's just the part that I'm the most excited about, right? Switchblade
or just remove it. It's just teasing us for so long.
As Nick just said. And what she excels at is creating space for her team while also penalizing enemies who are fortified behind cover, right? So she has what we call the Chaos Launcher. And if we can go ahead and hop into game and check this out at some point, Brad, that'd be amazing. But before we do that, I guess, no, you were right. You were right. You had it right, Brad. I did this wrong. Let's go through the combat loadout real quick. So, high level here. The two weapons that Switchblade has access to, she has access to the Mark IV, which is the assault rifle that Saint has as well. Then she has the 24S. This is the first time Lancer's weapon is on another rogue. And one of the questions, Nick, we always ask ourselves,
same thing with the MLX, right?
It's going to be good on literally any other character.
Right?
Yeah, it's a fun way to find out. So, I mean, both the Mark IV and the 24
Yeah.
is new to any. You know, it's just Saint with the Mark IV. It's just it's just Lancer with the 24S.
Yeah, so we get that new one in there. Then when you go down to the perks, she is a little bit more of an aggressive
Got a bounce
character.
nade, that's good.
That
Baseball bat,
you guys probably
not great,
on the screen,
but fits the character.
We wanted to make sure that she achieved the breacher mentality. And so in order to kind of break through
flashbang, dude, flashbang meta.
You need to be able to take an explosive to the chest and kind of live. And you also need the ability to make big plays
tenacity,
happen,
bounce back.
Life drain kind of comes into play.
Berserker,
so she can put herself
life drain. All makes sense. It makes sense.
While still being
She's a breacher, right?
Yeah. Now let's go to the passive. So the passive here is fight and flight. And so this kind of ties into her narrative, but from a gameplay perspective, Switchblade is going to gain bonus movement speed every time she uses her ability or gadgets. So when you throw a gadget, you're going to gain a burst of movement speed that allows you to close the gap. And that works beautifully with her ability, and it also works amazingly with flashbangs. Her ability,
my God.
Well, you know, you guys can read it, but I'd rather show it. You know, that's really
show off the Chaos Launcher. Let's hear those beautiful noises that it makes
for her overall, and that's an amazing. You know, the animation team, the art team in general. You know, we just keep raising the bar on these character presentations, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, when we click this, she's got one of the best poses in the lobby.
There
you know?
it is.
I don't know. I like Seeker where he had the deformed head. That was my favorite, personally.
Let's see, the cinematic intro, please, Brad.
Oh, yeah, cinematic intro.
Chaos Launcher there that she is holding. So the newest member of
I would
Rogue
rather just
Company,
load into the game, but
unknown to
some people like the cinematic.
Unknown, I think, at large, signs a deal with
Here
Rogue
it comes.
Company at the promise of information about her past and about who she is, why she's
there. She was. All right.
Why she is on the run.
All right, let's go ahead and start off with the passive. So as the
oh my God, look at that haircut. Yes.
Before, the passive ability allows Switchblade to close the
solid
gap. So
play.
As soon as you throw a gadget or use your ability, you're going to gain a big burst of movement speed that lasts 5 seconds. And so
I wish there was like
gadgets, you're always able to
does she have like little contrails or something behind her to let you know that she has increased movement speed?
You can see she's really moving. She's not as fast as Lancer, right? Obviously, but she's damn close inside of there. And so now the
why wouldn't they just make it the same?
Is all about the Chaos Launcher. So this is.
Did she have resupply or replenish?
Version 1.
Holy nuts!
Rocket launcher.
It's a big area.
And when she equips this, the Chaos Launcher, right? Well,
if you shoot it at a wall,
here is a very specific targeter, and this is how it works. So when the rocket is fired, it will do 75 damage in an area, and then it's going to eject 3 napalm canisters that then fill up that area with essentially a Molotov effect. And so this will go over cover. So Brad, just go ahead and shoot it, you know, just kind of like right at this cover.
Sure.
That'd be great. So we all have those times where you want to get
oh my God, it's faster than Dima.
This is exactly what it's designed to do. So there's
it's quick. Okay, it's quick.
medium piece of cover inside of the level.
I thought it was going to be like
Chaos Launcher at it, and then just go ahead and close the gap and punish them for being inside of there. In
How far
addition
does
to
it?
that, it does 75 damage.
That's such a
and the
weird
tick damage
targeter.
is really strong as well. So you're going to hit
75?
But it
Oh
only
my
lasts for
God.
5 seconds. And that's where it kind of ties into the passive ability where, hey, you're gonna, when you go ahead and activate this, you're gonna gain this boost of movement speed, or this burst of movement speed, and you're gonna be able to close the gap. So you fire it, your team rallies behind it, and now you're just moving forward.
There it is. It's a fun little thing to play with. When you've got
Fun little
enemies that are
thing, that thing's
fortified behind
massive.
cover, you know, you can use the napalm pools to take people out. But if that's not the situation that you're in, either you're playing TDM, it's frantic, you can just hit them with the rocket for 75. Chances are, if they get hit with the rocket, they're gonna eat at least a tick or two of the fire, which is enough to kind of clean them up. It's a lot of damage. So 2 ticks of the fire plus the rocket.
That doesn't. I'm gonna be real with you. That does not feel balanced at all in its current state.
Of, do I want to position these puddles here, or do I want to just go for?
Well, we'll see once we play some gameplay with Switchblade, I guess. But holy Jesus!
I've had many a times where I thought I was about to.
I thought it was gonna tick for 5, not 20. 20.
And takes us both out, right? So that's an option too if you want to go kind of for the suicide style when you have no other options. There's a lot of ways to play with the Chaos Launcher. Super fun ability here. It looks cool. It sounds cool. I love these fire. I love the napalm VFX on the ground.
It literally goes over cover.
Yeah, Nick Reed and the VFX.
It goes over cover.
So, one of the
1, 2. Okay, it takes 2 seconds ish, 2-ish seconds for it to go over cover and start burning the person behind it.
Like Factory, where everybody knows in Strikeout Factory, right? Yeah, you have those people right at the hop over, and
it's not even hard to use,
to get a
though.
Grenade over there, or how you flush someone out.
And she has bounce grenades.
Position is very difficult, and that was kind of one of the driving forces behind making this character. Is hey, how do you
counterplay that? You can't.
Right? And so.
Hey, are you hiding behind Anvil Shield? Not anymore. Hey, are you Sigrid? Not anymore.
No, if you're playing on high cast when someone's on the bridge, same thing's going to happen inside of there as well. And so what's missing, and we'll have to take a look at this, is that, you know, whenever you use a gadget and whenever you use your ability, you're going to get a duration meter that
I guess, yeah, that makes glitch a little bit more important, or maybe EMPs, but
we'll check that out and investigate that as to why it's
I mean,
wow.
For what it's
you
worth,
can use this to lock down the bomb for a few seconds too. Like you could just launch this thing over to the bomb when it's just chilling and it's got 5 seconds left and they can't defuse it. I mean, they could try.
Duration meter that pops up, shows how long it's going to last.
20 damage. Will tenacity counter that? I don't think so. It's not an explosion. It's Molotov damage. It's fire damage.
And the baseball bat.
It might help you with the initial 75, but I don't think it's going to protect you against the
great kit. Goes together well.
The 20.
Passive, to kind of close the gap on your own stuff. A lot of times, you know, you throw these flashes.
That's
throw the chaos
that's
launcher.
even more.
A long way to kind of go to actually initiate or to follow up.
More oppressive than Kestrel's drones.
Everybody else might be in position, but I love the passive.
And Kestrel's already really strong.
Sort of, not only am I starting this fight
because of that and her weapons, which
the rest of my team
I guess the 24S and the MLX, they're not as good as the Riptide, but
you just think about like the base flashbang behavior, right? Throw it, you know, you're playing Skyfall, you throw it across inside of like Egypt, you get a hit marker.
Sure.
You're not going to be able to.
I don't know though, because now the MLX.
But now with Switchblade,
if you deal that much damage, Saint doesn't have the ability to like deal a bunch of damage real quick and then shoot you with the MLX, so maybe it'll be pretty strong. Either of those guns.
Demolition, a lot of it comes down to good, strong coordination.
Little bit of power creep
behind when she uses that ability. Respawn game modes, obviously, you know, do your thing. Iron, forget, have a good time.
Power creep on pretty much every rogue they've released except
ticks hard, it ticks fast. If your teammates
Sigrid.
are there to follow it up, I mean, those are nearly guaranteed.
Dahlia,
duels at that
extremely
point,
strong. Fixer, extremely strong.
So
Sigrid wasn't very strong. They buffed her over time. She's better now.
Any type of objective stuff.
Kestrel, very strong. Had to get nerfed several times. Still getting nerfed. Mac,
very excited.
Was extremely strong with time to kill changes.
About her future and the way that narrative is going to play out. We'll see if she.
And now she is going to be very strong. All right, so that's that. That's the end of the show. So what are my thoughts, I guess? They pretty much they did the undo on time to kill. They did the redo button on time to kill for like half the items. And then they did a little bit of nerfs, but they also buffed some of the best characters in the game. And then they added 6v6 King of the Hill, which will actually be probably a lot of fun. They took out Extraction. This is how they could have like really just sunk things down. There's going to be the free event, the Arms Dealer Season 2 or whatever it's called. Arms Dealer 2 event, which is good. It's going to be a free unlocks for everything, which is awesome. People can grind for that. Regardless of if the cosmetics are good or bad, it's a free thing. So applause for that, I guess. And then, yeah, so we got Switchblade, which seems like she's going to be extremely strong. I don't know how long the cooldown is on her napalm launcher. I don't know. She seems really strong. She's got flashbang. She's got movement speed increase. Her weapons are decent, or like upper tier weapons. So, and bounce grenade. Like bounce grenade is like pretty much the best grenade you can have, I feel. So she's solid. She's going to be a good rogue, and I hope they didn't say when this is all coming out, which I'm kind of surprised about, but it's probably going to be coming out on the PTS tomorrow is my guess. And then when PTS rolls out, it's usually 2 weeks. And if this is considered their July update, I'm thinking this is going to come out around, oh man, probably July. They said July update, right? So July 6th. It's probably going to be July 6th is my guess. July 6th. And if it's not July 6th, then it's going to be July 13th. So that's my thoughts on what is this called? Switchblade, the Switchblade update show, I guess, for Rogue Company.